Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been such a long time. I definitely needed another break, but I am ready to get back to making videos. So if you've seen the title of this video, then today I wanted to do like an unpopular tech opinions video. I found the inspiration for this because I've seen like unpopular opinions just like on other topics like fashion, beauty, gossip, things like that. And I'm like, so why don't I do one for tech opinions, you know? So here are Denise, unpopular tech opinions that I feel like these are my unpopular tech opinions. Day in the life / get ready with me videos that were seen on TikTok, they are not the cause of the layoffs. Now I know that a lot of people may feel that way. I have seen that, I've heard it. And I feel like it's not the reason for 10,000 people being laid off, in my personal opinion. I just feel like companies are doing monkey see, monkey do. They didn't do so well. And I think for a long time, owners and CEOs have been trying to figure out how to bring people back into the office, you know? So I feel like, from what I heard, I know Amazon is currently reenacting that. So yeah, I don't think citing day in the life videos is the reason why for the mass layoffs in these larger tech companies. ChatGPT is not taking people's jobs anytime soon. Now I know like some people might feel like, oh, you know, so technical, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, like, at this point in time, you still have to tell ChatGPT what to do. It still requires some kind of input of information to receive an output. So I don't personally feel like ChatGPT is taking our job anytime soon. Maybe in the future, but not this current iteration of ChatGPT. I don't think it's taking our job right now. You need a cert to get a job. False. I actually remember seeing this a lot during my journey, and when I was trying to become a software engineer, I did see this a lot. I don't know where the myth came from. I will say that the certifications are good for either one, learning, so like starting points. I think in a previous video I mentioned Salesforce is a good one. I still think it's a good one to kind of get your feet wet, but I don't think that you need a cert to get a job. And to be honest, employers aren't looking at like two candidates, similar experience, everything, but one has a cert versus another. I don't think so. Now, maybe with cybersecurity, that might be the case, but like the day-to-day software engineering, admin, system admin, I don't think they really care, you know, but feel free to correct me, you know. I think the conversation surrounding like Web3, blockchain, NFTs, crypto, I don't know about y'all, but like, I really haven't heard any conversation about any of these since, you know, like maybe early 2022. Like, it's like everything has been dead. I haven't seen a webinar on Web3. I haven't seen anything talking about Web3, blockchain, NFTs, crypto, nothing. I think that conversation is dead. At least for the meantime, definitely dead. But I don't know if, you know, maybe in a few years it might resurface. But right now, I think the conversation is dead. My next unpopular tech opinion is the Meta VR systems are boring, okay? I understand this is supposed to be the way of the future, blah, blah, blah. I've owned the Oculus, the Meta Oculus, through my previous employer, and I don't know. I think we're still very far off. It is scary to think of what the world might become, but I think it's boring, and I think Meta is missing some steps when they're trying to take this to the next level. I don't think the average user is running to get an Oculus, you know? Now, granted, I'm not a gamer girl, so maybe in the gaming community, it might be bigger than what I think, but the regular average user is not running to go get an Oculus, and I think Meta is definitely missing the mark with this Oculus and VR system. My next unpopular opinion is tech interviews don't actually test knowledge, they test memorization. Look, I think anybody can sit down and learn how to memorize problems, right? You're looking for patterns. I don't think it tests knowledge. I don't think it tests experience. It's just how well do you understand the pattern and how well can you memorize. That's personally what I think. I think these are just metrics used to like kind of weed people out, if you will, but I don't think that just because you can't pass a technical interview doesn't mean you are not qualified for a position. And I it's unfortunate that that is the barrier to entry for a lot of these entry-level roles and even further, like senior roles. But I mean, as a natural problem solver, I don't know what the alternative or solution would be in the meantime, except like more focalized tech interviews. But I don't think it actually tests knowledge personally. I think it's just a lot of memorization and regurgitation, and that's how I feel. My next unpopular opinion, work from home is actually harder than going in person. Nah, no, don't shoot me. Don't hurt me, okay? But I just feel like when you are in an office, even if you're goofing off, like you still have to sit at a desk. Most likely there is somebody still walking by, coworker interacting you, your manager might be there. I get it. With work from home, it's about discipline and structuring your day for your best productive day. It's easy to do whatever you want to do during work from home. Go shopping, work, study, do whatever you got to do when there's nobody watching. And so I feel like work from home can be challenging when there is no structure and you have to create that discipline and structure from yourself. So I do think in ways that working from home, and on top of that, some people have kids, dogs, significant others that they're also dealing with as they work from home. So in my personal opinion, work from home is more challenging than going into an office. My next unpopular opinion might ruffle a little feathers, but I feel like I am on the fence about how I feel about when people are saying, oh, if you're in HR, you're in tech. If you're in I don't know. You're in HR, you're in tech. If you're in, I don't know, recruiting, you're in tech. Like tech, okay? I'm on the fence. And the reason why I'm on the fence about claiming those people as people who work in tech is that I feel like between Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok, I'm starting to see a phenomenon where like those are the same people that are selling resume reviews and courses. I don't think you need a course on HR to get into tech and work at a tech company. Like, I don't think you need a course, or people should be selling courses on how to become HR at a tech company. I think that's a little disingenuous because you can work HR wherever, you can work tech. There are technical recruiters, so that probably is a little bit different of a path. But to say that you're get into tech and then people find out your HR, your business, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think when you are saying that and selling that so you can sell courses and digital products and resume reviews or mentoring, coaching, I think that's a little disingenuous personally. I am on the fence though about actually considering those people in tech. There's a big discourse surrounding if people such as in HR get to say they're in tech. But honestly, the checks all cash the same, so I don't actually really care. Just as long as you're not being disingenuous, I think that's okay. My next unpopular opinion is if you're a career changer, meaning you're coming from medicine or maybe HR or, I don't know, maybe you work at an Amazon warehouse. I feel like the best advice you can get is from people who also changed from a different career into tech. I see a lot of people who sell courses that went to college. And I've had conversations with these people who went to college, and specifically when I say went to college, I mean went to college and got a computer science degree. People are still not honest at how much gatekeeping goes on with one, not only just having a degree, but two, having a computer science degree. A lot of those people don't understand the struggle of having to switch careers and what it would take to get in without a college degree, one, or without the appropriate college degree for these job descriptions. People are taking people who have college degrees, but it's a little bit more finessing that you have to do to prove yourself to these recruiters or to get that opportunity, that I don't personally feel like people who went to undergrad for 4 years and got a computer science degree or an associate's in computer science can really speak to, maybe help guide you with maybe some resources, but I just don't know if they're going to be as helpful since they didn't technically go through it that way. They went through a different path. That's my personal opinion. My next unpopular opinion is most tech companies do not care about diversity. I said what I said. That I think it's just been a catchphrase. I don't know because of what happened in 2020, but if you ask people that look like me, women, other things like that. Me being a black and being a woman, I don't think anybody's gonna really tell you that their company is very diverse or that they actually champion it in the way that they would like to, or like, I don't think, or that they champion diversity in the way they claim on their website. That's all I gotta say on that. My next unpopular opinion is not everyone makes six figures. I feel like that's the game and scam. I wouldn't say scam. The reality is, one, just because you're working in the tech space does not mean you make six figures. Even as a software engineer, my first role was not six figures. Okay, but I think there is this reputation going around, or like, I think there is this stigma or stereotype going around that you do make six figures off the bat. Not saying people don't. That's definitely not true. Plenty of people do, but having that expectation that everybody does is very unrealistic, and that's how I feel about that. My next unpopular opinion is all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Okay, if you get it, you get it. The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. And I'm not going any further into that. Okay. My next unpopular opinion is the best engineers that I've ever worked with are some of the weirdest people you'll ever meet. Now, granted, okay. I feel like someone like me doesn't typically work in the tech space, especially as a software engineer. I just feel like I'm very extroverted. I'm nerdy in my own ways, but not in the computer gamer girl type of way. So to me, a lot of people are weird, okay? And I'm just, hey, this is my unpopular opinions and I said what I said, okay? But some of the people that I think are the weirdest have actually been some of the best engineers. And when I'm referencing like the word best, I'm talking about like personality, help, and the smarts. Like, so everything combined, not just that they consider it a computer. Yes, you will meet those people that are, their computer is their best friend. That's very clear that is who they've been talking to for the last 20 years. But the reality is that some of the best engineers that I personally ever met are the ones that are not only like great at their job, but they're willing to mentor and help other people kind of get slowly towards their level. My next unpopular tech opinion is some of y'all aren't fighting imposter syndrome, you're just people pleasers. It was so hard for me to say that. But yeah, some of y'all aren't fighting imposter syndrome. You are just people pleasers. And I said what I said. Like, you are only coding a certain way or picking up a certain programming language because that's what the senior software engineer likes. It's not even for the job. You code outside of work and that's cute and you're trying to excel, but it's so you can go and please the engineer the next, like, do it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. If anything, last year, all these layoffs, if you have noticed anything, it's that they don't care, okay? Everybody's for themselves, right? So some of y'all aren't fighting imposter syndrome. Y'all are just fighting your people-pleasing abilities. That's what I said. My next unpopular opinion is AI and machine learning are hot topics right now, but data and all the careers surrounding data engineering, data analyst, data scientist, database admin are so slept on. Now, for people who don't know what slept on means, that means like people aren't realizing the significance importance. Right now in the tech world, one big thing that's going on is all these companies have a lot of data and they don't know what to do with it. They don't have a lot of data engineers, they don't have data analysts, they don't have database admins. They don't have enough people to understand how they can now use this data to their advantage for their company. So these careers are becoming really hot topics, But because we're hearing a lot about machine learning and AI, yeah, it's still popular, still relevant, but I don't hear enough conversation about the data scene. If you are interested in looking in a career in tech, I would highly recommend you look into like database admin, data engineering, data analyst, things like that. Data scientist, I am none of those, okay? I am looking into data, just like data adjacent roles, especially like I know data engineers, a lot of them like they code. So it's like those software engineering skills that I've built, I can now kind of apply it to data plus a few more skills. A lot of them use Python. I'm not interested in Python, but if you pay me to use Python, I'll use Python. So highly recommend you look into those roles if that's something you might be interested in. That's a little tidbit. But yeah, data is so slept on compared to like machine learning, AI, all that stuff. My next unpopular opinion is you don't get your role in tech because of smarts. You get your role because of consistency and electricity. Yes, electricity. I say all that to say, I'm not even the smartest person. And it's not always the smartest person that gets the role. It's the person that puts that effort in. That means you only have an hour every day to contribute. You contribute every day until you reach your goal. I say electricity because you're gonna need a computer. It doesn't have to be the latest. It doesn't have to be the greatest. It doesn't have to be the strongest. It just has to be able to do or give you access to the things that you want to do. But it's that consistency that's going to carry you to your finish line. And some people feel like consistency and electricity, or mainly consistency, or having the latest and greatest Mac products and MacBook and all that stuff is what gets you there. But in reality, it's not. It's the consistency, that consistency and electricity, because you need electricity. Unless you do everything by hand. And I mean, you could, but who wants to do that? My next unpopular opinion is LinkedIn is not the best way to network. Now I get it, okay? I actually hate LinkedIn, okay? I did it because I had to, and I did what I had to do. I don't think it's the best way to network, personally. I think it's good if you don't have anybody in your network, but I think people underutilize the people around them. You don't have to know somebody to get into tech, right? You don't have to know somebody to get into a certain positions. You just have to have people at the right places. Now, what do I mean by that? Sure, I'm sure everybody want to work for Google, Apple, LinkedIn, whatever. Your dad might be a dairy processor at one of the largest dairy plants, right? That dairy plant has a corporate level. Everybody does. Just because your personal circle doesn't have people who are in the tech space or working in tech space does not mean that you cannot utilize those people around you. Utilize your network around you. Look at where they work. Look at the company. It's not always that, oh, my mom works at Walmart and my dad works at Kroger, therefore, I don't know anybody. No, your mom works at Walmart, corporate level Walmart. Kroger has a corporate. Use your referrals through them to get to where you want to go. Some people look so deep in, oh, well, I don't have a lot of people on LinkedIn. I don't know a lot of people on LinkedIn. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the best and only way to do that. So that's how I feel. I don't think LinkedIn's the best, to be honest. A lot of people on LinkedIn, me included, I hate LinkedIn. I don't even like responding to messages on there. Not because I don't like talking to y'all. It's just sometimes it can be a lot, and LinkedIn's not part of my job. However, for this, I do eventually, okay? I'm working on it. But LinkedIn is not the best way to network, in my humble unpopular opinion. My last and final unpopular opinion is that you don't need to learn everything for your role. I can only speak for software engineering. You just need to know at least 80 to 90%. Most people tell you, and what I recently learned on Twitter, right, is to look at job descriptions of the roles you're interested in and learn those technologies. Now, you don't need to know everything, right? And you don't even need to know much, right? But the point is, you need to know enough to finesse. If you don't know what finesse is, go to Urban Dictionary, look it up. But yeah, so that's all I have. Those were my tech unpopular opinions. Let me know. Do you disagree? Do you want to elaborate? Do you agree? Do you feel like there's some that you have that, are unpopular opinions? I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to continue interacting with you guys. I am catching up on messages still, so I will be reaching out and finishing those up. But in the meantime, let's have a conversation in the comments below. And with that being said, have a good one.